is the Flow.
Salve, salve família, bem-vindos a mais um Flow. Eu sou o Igor e hoje por essa tu não esperava, essa que é a verdade. Eu vou conversar com Armin, cara, um dos maiores DJs do mundo, tá sentado aqui bem aqui na minha frente. Thank you for coming, Armin.
Thanks for inviting me. Cool.
No, come on, man, you're Armin. Right? Aí, família, é o seguinte, ó. Esse recado aqui é pra quem carrega o piano nesse país, tá bom? Eu tô falando com você aí que é empresário. Tem um monte de gente que acha que é só glamour, mas na realidade, o cara muitas vezes tá sozinho, tomando decisão no escuro, errando pra caramba, sendo que na verdade tem todo um ecossistema que existe pra te ajudar nesse sentido. Eu tô falando do G4, cara. O G4 funciona como uma bússola pra quando o mercado parece um caos, tá? Lá tem um ecossistema com método e conhecimento aplicado para dar direção aos empresários que fazem o Brasil avançar. Se você tá confortável com mais ou menos, cara, nem clica no link, nem escaneia QR Code, nem nada. Agora, se você tá afim de levar o teu negócio pro próximo nível, é com você que eu tô falando e o G4 é pra você, tá bom? Então o QR Code aqui ou então o link na descrição vai te levar para um caminho que você vai entender melhor esse mundo dos negócios com quem já fez e com quem tá fazendo também. Tá bom? Então não perde tempo não, clica aí, ó. Eu não sei se você já investe, mas o mercado tá cheio de oportunidades para quem tá afim de diversificar, tá? Então, se você tava esperando a hora certa para investir em ouro, dólar digital, cripto, cara, chegou o momento. Porque a Mint fez uma parceria com a Livelo e se você usar o cupom Livelo26, você consegue juntar até 500 mil pontos no Livelo e depois usar como quiser, cara. Dá pra comprar um celular, dá pra comprar um monitor, dá pra comprar o que você quiser. Tudo isso com a confiança do Banco BTG Pactual e um app bem fácil de usar, cara. Baixa aí o app da Mint, abre a tua conta grátis com o cupom Livelo26 e aproveita. Essa promoção só vai até o dia 31 de março. I mean, we were talking before we started and you've been around for a while, right? And that means you have made not only a name for yourself on electronic music, but I feel like you're part of, you know, the history of trance music at least, right? Especially after I've been talking to some friends. Have you ever heard of Armin, DJ Armin? Are you kidding me? Armin? A state of trance.
Yes.
A state of trance, yeah. So people in Brazil, they know about a state of trance, and they talk. I mean, when I asked them, they talked about it. And so you've been around, and you've stayed relevant. You've stayed on the scene, right? And we were talking how it could be a challenge, and you told me that you were just following your heart because you're a lawyer. You could be doing something else.
Yeah, well, let's go back to the beginning. When I started, I was just a kid, 14, 15 years old, in love with all the girls in my school. And I was
parents,
trying to...
Anybody related to music?
Not really. Well, my father was had a really stressful job. He was a GP, a doctor. Mm-hmm. And the practice was next to our house. So to relax, he always used to listen to music. And as a kid, he used to listen to Jean-Michel Jarre and Guitaro and Vangelis and all those synthesizer music. And I was like, as a kid, like, wow, what is this? What is this? And I guess that's where it started. And then a few years later, the first house music came. I think maybe in Brazil was a little later, but in the Netherlands, dance music was already super popular. And my parents hated it. So that was the reason to go for it, you know. And also, I think...
What were the biggest names in dance music back then?
Well, it was really, really small. It was only in the Netherlands. It was not outside. There was no UK. There was no US. It was not even Belgium or Germany. It was Holland, you know?
Okay.
And there were no festivals. There was no Tomorrowland. There was no...
There was no market.
No. It was only a thing in clubs.
Okay.
And it was very underground. It was a lot of illegal raves.
How old were you?
I was not old enough to go clubbing. I was 16, 17 years old. There was this massive discussion about drug use, you know. It was very negative. In the press, it was very negative. My parents were very afraid because, you know, it was only this boom, boom music. And they only saw it as aggression, you know. And I saw the beauty of it. So as a little kid, I had friends in school because of dance music, you know. My best friends, they're still my best friends. They used to buy the vinyls and we would make mixtapes, and my mother hated it. And, well, not hated it. She wouldn't forbid it, but She was like, it's not my thing. And that's how I found my identity, I guess. It was not only my passion and the music I love, it was also a way to communicate with my friends in school, and later, of course, when I was DJing, all of a sudden the girls saw me. When before, there was no girls looking at me. But if you're a DJ, the girls are like, wow, they're looking at you. So it was also a way to communicate and to be seen, and a way to connect to the people around me, for sure.
But when did you realize that it could be your job? Because it all starts as a hobby. It all starts as a passion, as a way to...
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, 100%. I think there was one moment I will never forget. I was sitting in a bathtub. I went in to sit in the bath after my first gig in the UK. And at that time, it was a big deal, I was a guy from the Netherlands. I had one track, was called Communication. And on the 5th of February 2000, I was asked to play in Cream in Liverpool to warm up for Seb Fontaine, the resident. I'll never forget. And my track was just out. And I played, and it was a success. And I came back to my hotel room, and I sat in the bathtub, and I realized, wow, there's a chance for me to actually make a living out of DJing, really. And I never had the arrogance to think that I would, make a living out of DJing, because there was no money in dance music, especially around the time. It was a hobby for me. It was not like, I didn't expect. I was just, let's go for it.
Were you an undergraduate at the time?
Yeah. I finished my law degree in 2002. So in the weekend, during the week, I was like working at a law firm. And then in the weekends, my wife would wait with my bag of records at the airport.
Back then, she was your girlfriend, I guess.
That's my girlfriend, and we would go to the UK and spin vinyl and play every club in the UK. And in the Netherlands at the time, my home country, they didn't even book me. I couldn't get gigs. Yeah, and then it just went all went from there. Super crazy.
Did you feel like playing for a living, could this kill your passion for playing? Because when you turn something you love into work, doesn't it feel less sexy?
Well, I'm really glad that I was never that it was never my work, because I always thought, like, I'm going to be a lawyer. This is only going to be for 1 year. I'm going to have some fun, make a little bit of cash, and it's
been some years.
That's it. And then, the rest is history, as they say. But I finished my law degree because I thought it was important to have something to fall back on. So I never had the stress on my shoulders, like, okay, I have to be successful because I need to pay rent, or, it was never that pressure. And that also gave me the freedom to go to trance music, which at the time was not the popular sound. I mean, in the Netherlands at the time, DJ Jean was super popular. And he was the hero, and he had this clubby sound, which was not trancey, and he was great. I mean, it still is a great DJ, and he was super popular. But trance was not the most sexy sound. It was not the most popular sound.
And when did you? Because since you've been around for a while, and you've seen the movement, and like you said, in the beginning there was no such thing as Tomorrowlands or
No YouTube, no streaming services, nothing.
And what do you think was the point in electronic music that it became? There was a point in everything that it turned into something bigger, right? So for electronic music, there were some points in time, like when we started having events, when we started having social media, and rock star DJs, right? Because if what you're saying is, of course it's true, but what I mean is, there was no rock star DJs.
No.
But now you are a rock star DJ. So what happened? What was the most important thing that happened in electronic music that made possible for rock stars DJ?
I think, for me, the most important thing that happened was around 2008, 2009. US radio, daytime radio, top 40 radio, started embracing electronic music commercially. So it became a commercial thing. So I remember